Hi guys, welcome back to another 12 by 12 spread. This time I am using a Scraptastic kit that I received a couple months ago now, and I'm actually going to use multiple photos on this layout, and I'm going to try to use these 6 photos here, but as I go around and start putting things on the layout, I'm going to find that 6 is just too much, and it's covering up too much of the design that I want to put in. So you're going to see that I'm going to reduce that to 4, but I'm still getting 4 pictures on one page, which is pretty good. I typically only put up 1 or 2, so 4 is good. I like that I was able to get this many on the page. So I just showed you a couple of the pages that I'm going to be using from the kit. Some are from Crate Paper and some are Scraptastic exclusives, and I absolutely love this floral kind of print. It's from the Crate Paper Craft Market collection. It is gorgeous. I believe June kit, but I will verify that and make sure I put it in the comments below. So if you are curious which Scraptastic kit it is, you'll see that below. So here I'm just going to be using this kind of linear design on the right hand side of the page, using some of the papers just in strips, and I'm just going to be using lots of different strips. Some of the branding strips from the kit, some I am trimming down as you saw, and then I'm going to be doing punching and different things to add some extra texture to the layout. These are some pictures that were taken at the Wilds in Ohio. I took a trip out there with some friends and things like that, and we went. It's on like kind of one of those animal safari type things, and that's what the pictures are from. And here is one of my Fiskars punches that I have. It looks like a notebook punch, and again I'm just adding texture and things to the different layers of these papers just to give it a different look. And this is a newer punch for me. I haven't had it very long. We have a garage sale at one of my local scrapbooking stores, and I love the garage sale because you can find a lot of good things there and not spend a lot of money because it's mostly just gently used. So I got a ton of Project Life cards from that. So here I'm just ruffling up those, ripping a few off and just crumpling them up, again just adding some texture to the page. And then I'm going to add these strips down, and here I'm going to start gluing. And on this one I just wanted that little floral paper just to peek out a bit, and I'm going to do that on both sides. And again, one side I punched and one side I left plain. And I'm just kind of haphazardly putting these strips down, just adding a little texture here and there, and just a couple little scrap pieces here and there as well. So I'm going to also add these doilies from my stash. These are just regular old white doilies that I'm going to cut in half and use them in 2 different places. Again, just more texture and a different what do you want to call it, a different line. So instead of having all the linear lines, I'm adding some circular lines. And here's where I'm going to decide that the 6 pictures is just too many. It covers up too much, and I'm going to go at just these 4 pictures. And now I thought the background was a little bit too much. I mean, it is kind of a muted pattern, but I thought adding this white gesso, which is from Liquitex, on the background would just kind of soften the right hand side of the page. And I'm just going to put that down, and I'm going to use a baby wipe, a dry baby wipe, just to kind of smush it all over. No real rhyme or reason, just trying to keep it on the right hand side and to try to keep it very light and airy. I wanted it just to be a little airy, light kind of muting of the side. And so I dry that up a little bit with my heat tool. And then I am picking out some watercolors, and here I'm going to go pretty crazy with some watercolors. I'm just going to start smushing them all over, and that's why I ended up using that gesso on the right hand side, because this is just regular pattern paper. I didn't want it to get too soaked, so that's why I chose to put the gesso on, and I wanted to be able to have a little bit more movement in the colors. So I'm just trying to take some colors from the actual paper here. So I'm using this kind of tealy color, and this is just a watercolor palette that I got from Michaels, just a very inexpensive palette, and I like it. It is kind of a chalkier watercolor. It doesn't go on quite as nice as some of the more artist grade watercolors, but you know, for the scrapbooking, what I'm doing for it, it's just fine. So here I kind of mushed it all over, and then I'm kind of dripping it around and just using my heat tool to dry that up before I go on to another color. And I used my paintbrush here to mush it on, but then you're going to see me here in a minute. I'm going to actually find that I don't like how this looks as much, so I'm going to put it on this plastic packaging and then mush it on the background. And I like that it doesn't have the brush strokes, but it still has the mushy look. I like that a little bit better. I think the brush strokes are just a little too heavy-handed, so this is kind of more preferred, and I like how it turned out a little bit better. But most of it gets covered up, so I don't mind that the more tealy aqua color is with the brush strokes. So here I'm just using a couple different colors together, mixing them up, and then I'm going to smush some more down on top of those brush strokes. So that blends it out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to blot it up a little bit with my baby wipe, and then I'm going to dry it again with my heat tool. And then I'm just going to keep kind of going back and forth with different colors until I get what I like on the background. And just like I said, pulling the colors from the paper, that Crate Paper Craft Market flower paper. So I'm mushing around, I'm making a complete mess, but that's what makes this so much fun. So I highly recommend just getting out and playing. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was just kind of playing. I wanted just to see what I could do to the background. And it's only paper. If I absolutely hated this, I could totally throw it away. It's no big deal. So now I'm going to add mists on top of this. So I looked at my little color swatch there and tried to find a mist that I liked. So I picked this Navy Studio Calico Mr. Huey's mist. And I didn't like how it was coming out with the tube end, so I'm taking a paintbrush and I want to add some bigger daubs here. So that's what I'm doing now, just to add a little bit bigger dollops of that color. And I'm going to be using some of the jean type of fabric stickers that came in the kit. They're made by We Are Memory Keepers, and I thought this navy drips would really bring out the colors in that. So I've already let that dry, and now I'm adhering on this background strip that I added. And if you notice now in the video, my fingernails are painted like many different colors. My daughter decided to pick out many different colors of nail polish and color my nails, so we had a little manicure session in between me making the background and me putting this on. So that's why I have these crazy fingernails now. And I'm just taking my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch, and I am punching this out just to add some more texture again. This was just those blue pieces I had already adhered, but I thought it just needed a little bit more dimension, so I'm just pulling those off to add that. And I think I ripped the doily a little bit here, but that's okay because it's all going to be hidden. And I'm just taking the adhesive off so it doesn't get stuck in my trimmer. And then I'm just simply punching that out and then gluing it back into place. And then I'm going to start putting some different layers of paper behind my pictures. And again, this is kind of just a haphazard layering that I'm going to do behind the pictures. I'm just taking the scraps that I have from the kit, just adding them in, little pieces here and there. Some of the offcuts to some of the things I'm also going to be adding in. You can see there I was trying to move that little border that I punched out because it kind of got hidden behind the picture, but it didn't move. It was too stuck down, so it kind of just stayed the way it was. So I'm going to mount all of these with the white paper first, and then I am going to add in those scraps. And I thought I needed the white paper. It just made the pictures pop off the page just a little bit more than if I kept them straight on the page. And I love that little cat. I don't remember what kind it was, what species it was, but it was really cool. It was one of the animals that we got to see kind of up close, so that was really neat. We saw an armadillo, this cat, some other, I think a tortoise of some kind, and then we went on the little safari, and it was really cool. So if you're ever up in, I think, northern Ohio, that is where the Wilds is. It's part of the Cincinnati Zoo, I think. So here is some of the little scraps of paper. I'm using those little offcuts there from that office hole punch, or what is it, the spiral binding punch looking like thing. I made offcuts there, again, just adding that texture, and why not? Why not use my scraps instead of tossing them out? I thought it added a little bit of something to the page. Just add the texture, and then I could use like every little bit here. Here's some more of that flower paper. I'm just backing it behind the little punched out pieces so that you can see a little bit more because it was blending into the background. And now I'm going to trim out some little strips here to use them in other places on the layout. This is that blue and white paper that I had punched with the scallop punch, and then some more of the floor paper. And again, just kind of tucking and finding out places to add things, just kind of randomly, haphazardly putting things together. Nothing too much of a rhyme or reason to it, just something that I thought looked good, and just trying to use up some of those branding strips and pieces of the extras I had left over. Excuse me. And now I'm using my fine liner bottle also to glue that down. I love my fine liner bottle. I highly recommend it. I'm sure I talk about it in all my videos. Oh, my cat's visiting, and there he went. He probably got into something. That's why I had to stop the video there for a second. Now I'm back, and I'm gluing those pieces down. Again, just kind of randomly choosing what I think looks good and sticking it down. This layout did take me a little bit of time. It was all the layering, things like that I played with, and that mixed media background. So this is a little bit longer video. I try to keep the videos under 15 minutes, but sometimes they take a little longer. And what I did want to say is while I have you and I'm gluing all these strips down, I have a giveaway on my channel. I will leave a link below in the description so you can enter to win. It is open till the 25th of October 2015 till midnight. And what it basically is, if you do some type of project with celebration in mind, so if you do a layout or a card or any project that you would like that has something to do with celebration, a birthday, a wedding, anniversary, life, just a celebration of life. If you let me know about that, you can be entered into a $25 giveaway or gift certificate giveaway. If you also want to just leave a comment about what you like about my channel, what you would like to see differently, what you would like to be added to the channel, then you can leave a comment below, and then I will have a little bit of a smaller prize for anybody that just leaves a comment. So like I said, I'll leave the link below. It's open till the 25th of October, which is a Sunday. So I hope you guys join me. I really am excited to see some of your guys' projects. So that's what I would like to see the most of, because that is always fun to see what other people are creating. So if you would like to join in the fun, please head on over to that video and join me in. And really the reason I did that giveaway is because I just reached 1,000 subscribers on my channel, and I'm so grateful, and I wanted to give a little bit back to all of you guys that have encouraged me and left comments and things like that along the way. It's been a great time, and I can't wait to do more of these videos and hang out with you guys more. So here I am just taking some of the little word phrases that are in the kit. And these are, I think, just die cuts that they made from Scraptastic. These are exclusives. They're made out of that cool, glittery fun foam, and they're very, very, very delicate. So they were kind of hard to get the backing off. I was terrified I was going to rip them in half. So I'm kind of very, very, very carefully pulling off the backing, sticking some down, pulling off the backing, sticking more down so that I didn't distort them too much and I didn't rip any of the foam. So the one on the top right is love, and the one on the bottom left is memories. And then here are those we are memory keepers stickers. And like I said, they are made kind of like out of a jean-like material. I thought they were going to be really hard to use, and on this layout I think they worked pretty well. I have had some issues trying to use them on some other layouts. They're cool, but they're just very, very bold, and I was having some problems. I felt like they stuck out too much. I need to challenge myself to try to get the rest of them used up that I haven't used yet on a layout. Maybe I can do some kind of a different kind of grid design or something. So here I'm going to start working on the title, and it's going to be very boring, and it's basically going to say The Wilds, because that's where I was, and that's how I do my titles. Very simple and very obvious. So here are some crate paper letters, and I'm going to spell wilds with them, and they're like a plastic with some are gold, so they're gold letters with a clear background, and then some are an aqua background with a clear letter. Now, I find them kind of chunky, and I didn't know how I was going to use them, and I didn't like how they would spread out too much if I didn't overlap them. So what I end up doing is actually trimming them out of the plastic, and you're going to see here in a minute how I do that. Because I just didn't really like how this looked. It was just, I don't know. These are a little hard to use. I have used them on a couple layouts, but for this one, I just didn't like all that extra plastic around the letters. So you're going to see me here in a second trim them. So there's what it looks like, and then there's what it looks like trimmed. So I just trim them all out, and I like this a lot better. So all I need to do is remove the cellophane backing on the back to make sure they are more shiny and not so cloudy. So you'll see me start that, but I'm going to skip through because it's like watching paint dry, me peeling off plastic. So in a second here, you will see it move on to me finishing up the title. And there is not a whole lot more left to this layout. It's pretty much getting to the end. I'm going to do a little bit more embellishing and splatters and things like that, and that will wrap it up. So while I'm finishing gluing these things down, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Like I said, I have my little 1,000 subscribers giveaway on my YouTube channel to the 25th. Make sure you head over there. I also have a new Facebook page. It is in the links below. If you would come over there and like my Facebook page, that is where I kind of put updates and things. I find it too hard to keep up with my blog, so I thought instead of blogging, I would use my Facebook page. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you guys would rather see my updates on the Facebook page, if you want to see me to continue my blog. Just let me know what you guys like to see the most. I also post things on Pinterest and Instagram, so if you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can, or if you want to follow any of my boards on Pinterest, you can as well. Like I said, all links are below, so I would love for you to join me over on those locations, and especially on my Facebook page because I just started that up. I'm hoping I can really get that taken off on a good foot. So here I am just adding some enamel dots from my stash, some gold, pink, red, aqua, a little bit of everything, just kind of to match that floral background. And some are hearts and some are circles. And that is pretty much it. I'm going to show you some close-ups here, and there's going to be pictures at the end. Thank you guys again so much. Have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.